Elementary. The Algonac Elementary gym is used all of the time by various community groups as well too. So implementing every other day cleaning, how this would work is each building would have its own primary day custodian. That wouldn't go away. You can't do away with that. Certain buildings would also be assigned a permanent night person because you have to have someone there for those events. If you have an athletic competition, you have to have someone who's going to sign up for it. But then what would happen is we would take another crew of custodians, make a crew, usually in the neighborhood of 2 to 3, could be 3.5, and that crew would rotate amongst the district, and that crew would then clean those buildings on an every other day schedule. Okay? And so what's the pro of this? As I said before, the pro to this is fiscal because if I do that type of a format, then I can probably eliminate from 2 to 4 positions, and 2 to 4 positions would give us a net savings in the neighborhood of $100,000 to $215,000. The negative of this, the backside of this, is that the level of daily cleanliness that happens each and every single day, we can expect that to go down a bit. And there can be arguments back and forth on this may even be a better thing for some of the schools that have a lower amount. I'll take Millside, for instance. Millside is assigned a 0.5 person in the evening. We have a person who does half of a shift there in the evening. How much can that person do in that half of a shift? Can they get a deep clean every night? Or is it better to every other night have a crew of 3 come in there and deep clean the building? And so, again, there's different pros and cons to this. This is a break in the current structure that we have. But if we went to assigning a 1 all day and a 1 to those buildings that needed the evening and have a team cleaning atmosphere, that could allow us to reduce the crew to by about 2 to 4 positions, saving us in the neighborhood of $100,000 to $215,000. So before I hit it, questions about that?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, sir.
Now, that doesn't mean that you're gonna take the group of 4 and make it privatized, is it?
No,
You already have a guy that's already on a custodian that's privatized, right?
I don't have privatized
I
custodians.
thought we do, I thought Eugene also China was.
That's maintenance. That slide's coming up. Yeah. Okay, so here's how it works now. Once I click the button, it's going to open to green, and we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on your clickers, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the top. And so all you have to do is take your clicker and put where you feel, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our responses will start populating at the top. And again, if you don't think it registered, you click it 1,000 times, it'll only register you once. And I'll give it about 15, 20 seconds for everyone to register and think on it. Okay. And so again, when you're looking at these results here, again, I've done a previous 6 month presentations. In the end, we're going to take all of those, aggregate them together as well too. And if you'd like to see the specific data from just this presentation, all you have to do is shoot me an email and I can send you a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet that'll show you just this presentation. If you wait until March 17th when I do my last one, be happy to send you all of them aggregated together as well too, so you see what's going on through there. So we understand how this works. We're good with it? Okay, we'll start going through these a little bit quicker now. Survey number 2, so this is the one that you were addressing. This is maintenance staff. Currently in our district, we do have 3 maintenance staff that are working right now. We do have one that is privatized as work through, I do believe it's PCMI, it could be done, but it's one of the agencies, and that is Eugene. We have 2 other maintenance staff men as well too. Previously, we did have only 2 maintenance staff members. The 3rd maintenance staff member that we have now is in charge of maintaining HVAC and also maintaining the equipment that we have, lawn equipment, our truck fleet, our plow fleet, et cetera, et cetera. So do we have the ability to reduce to 2 maintenance staff? Yes, we do. What's the pro to this? Well, the pro obviously is I'm saving a salary, and that salary is approximately $50,000. What is the con to doing this? You're taking a team of 3, you're reducing that team to 2. And so when you have a reduced team, there's really a couple of adverse effects. Number 1, response time when it comes to fixing daily things throughout the district, that will decrease as well too. And you have to get a little bit more creative and patient when it comes to larger jobs, such as snow plowing, et cetera, et cetera. And so we have the ability from reduce to 3 down to 2. Are there any questions I can address about this before we vote? Okay. Once it turns to green, it's open. Set. Reducing teaching staff. This has been something that has been done throughout the past 5 years. The first slide I showed you, you think it had those numbers memorized, but I think it was 129 down to 107. That's probably pretty close to what the first slide told you. We do have the ability within our schedule, and I'll lay it pretty much on the line. The elementaries are pretty darn full where they're at right now. There's not much opportunity in the elementaries to reduce staff. There is a little bit of an opportunity at the middle school, and there's a little bit larger of an opportunity at the high school within the schedules to be able to reduce teaching staff. And the approach of this is simply, again, the savings. If I can get between 3 and 7 staff members, I can save anywhere from $180,000 to $315,000. The con to reducing teaching staff is twofold. Number one, it's most likely going to increase class sizes. And number two, when you start talking about the secondary level, it also reduces the number of curricular offerings that you have as well too. It takes the variety of courses that you have and it shrinks it down into a much more narrow focus. Okay. Questions? Sir?
What, okay, if you increase class sizes now are 33. You
At the high
start-
school level.
You start increasing class sizes, aren't the teachers paid so much per student after 33 students in a classroom?
It varies based on the level that you're at, Richard. In the high school, once you get to 32, you get paid for the 32nd and for the 33rd student, and that's it. Number 31 through 0, those are built into the contract. And so if we put a 32nd and 33rd student, then we do provide an additional stipend. And when it gets down to the elementary levels, that gets smaller. The max in elementaries, I believe, is 29, and they will get paid for that 29 students as well too. So it's at the top tier. They get bonuses for those ones that are close to the max.
Okay, one other thing. Now, teachers' evaluations are based on their performance.
A portion of it, yes.
Okay, so now you start increasing class sizes. The students are, the level of knowledge the students are gonna get is gonna be lower. And then when it comes time for evaluation for teachers, you're doing a, pardon my way of putting it, a piss poor job. Your evaluation is gonna go down. 3 of them, 3 bad evaluations, you're out the door. My
I
understanding.
understand your point completely, and what you're saying is valid. And I'll take a couple of hats and put them on here as I'm speaking. And I'll speak to you now as a former high school government teacher. And government was one of those classes that just had to be loaded up. And, you know, there was a year where I believe I had 153 students. And is that challenging for a teacher? You better betcha. There's no doubt about it. And what's more challenging, having 150 in the high school or having 30 in the elementary? Well, if you talk to an elementary teacher and a high school teacher, they're going to have a very rigorous debate about that. And there's a lot of arguments that can be made on both sides. And then if you talk to a teacher and say, if you have 28 and you have 33, is there a big difference in the degree in which you're teaching them? And again, you can have debates that'll argue and rage back and forth. The point that you're making is valid, and there's other people that'll say, give them to me and I'll teach them and I'll get them there regardless. So the point you're making is valid, and there are debates on the both.
Are there any state regulations about classroom sizes following the school? No.
I don't believe so. Not that I've run across that. We've heard of, it's all really contractually based. So what contracts that you work out with the district. But I will say this as well too. When I'm quoting those 33 numbers, there are exceptions to that as well too. And that's gym, band, choir. Am I missing one, Ms. Claire? I think gym, band, and choir, those can have a larger amount.